Hey, I'm Chris and I'm doing the work today. The work is a technique of inquiry where you write down beliefs that are causing you stress or worrisome beliefs and you question them. Questions are a really simple series of 4 questions and then something called the turnaround where you test the opposite of that belief and see how true that might be. So, the belief that I'm working with today is one that pops up in a lot of situations for me. It's that I can control what other people think of me. Um, and kind of related to that is just being even kind of like concerned about the impression I'm making on other people. Um, and anchoring myself in a situation where that happens, I think, even a lot of times just like getting dressed in the morning, what you wear, like, oh, what people think of this, this shirt, or I gotta look good, gotta be like stylish looking or whatever, impressive. But that might be one situation where it pops up of many. But this belief, the belief I'm working with today is I can control what other people think of me. So the first question is a really simple one. You just ask yourself, is it true? It's supposed to be a yes or no question. So you're just supposed to answer yes or no. And you're supposed to kind of sit in the situation where this belief came up and see what appears for you, whether it's yes or no. So is it true? I can control what other people think of me. Yes is the first thing. Yes is what appears there. So if you give a yes answer to the first question, you go to the second question, which is, can you be absolutely sure that it's true? So can I be absolutely sure that I can control what other people think of me? No, it feels really silly to say that I can control other people's thoughts about anything, myself included. So I cannot be absolutely sure that I can control what anyone thinks of me. So the third question is, how do you react? What happens when you believe the thought, I can control what other people think of me? This one, like, I become really like judgmental of myself and really closely think about like what I'm doing and become really self-conscious. Kind of get the feeling that, I need to, be perfect, or I need to meet these people's standards, which I don't even know what they are. And they're kind of just imagined. There's a lot of judgment going on. There's a lot of kind of anxiety and a little bit of worry about, and if I don't do this, they're going to think bad of me, and then I'm going to be unhappy for whatever reason. So the fourth question is, who would you be without the belief I can control what other people think of me? So if I was unable of, like, kind of imagining I was just totally incapable of having this belief, that I any control at all, so I have no control over what people think of me, I feel like I'd be so much more free, and that none of these mental energy and bandwidth would be used on things that are concerned purely with other people's thoughts of me. I can just feel how like I would be getting dressed in the morning or whatever, so many situations where this comes up, and it just wouldn't even give it a second thought. I would just put on what I like, and it would just be totally relaxing and like easy. And life would be so much easier, is how I feel without this thought. So after the fourth question, you go to the turnarounds. The turnarounds are basically, you look for the statements that might be the opposite of this belief and see that if they can be as true or even more true than the original ones. So what's a turnaround for I can control what other people think of me? I can't. I have no control over what other people think of me. Is it true? Yes. I have number one, I have no idea what other people think of me. So something I don't even know the first thing about. Anything I think other people think of me is just a pure guess. So I'm probably wrong, and I'm just imagining I'm telling a story about this person, like they think X about me or Y. So number one, I don't even know what other people think of me. Anything that I think another person thinks of me is just made up story in my head. And it's even crazier to say that I can control something that I have no idea what it is. So it just feels like madness. It feels much more true to say I have no control over what other people think of me, And if I have no control over it, then there's no point in worrying about it, because it's totally outside of my control. Like anything I spend on it is wasted. Like it's like thinking about the weather. Like the weather is outside of my control. It's gonna happen, and I'll react to it, and I'll deal with whatever emerges. But if I'm worried about if it's gonna rain tomorrow or not be sunny or whatever, like it's just a wasted thought. Let's try another turnaround. I can control what I think of myself. So that's an interesting one, is like, I can control what I think of myself. Is that true? Like, I mean, in a way, yes, and in a way, no. I feel like a lot of times, judgments about myself, all of these pop into my head, and it's kind of like, it's just like feels like habit. It's like even these whatever thoughts appear, they just appear and they go away. I don't really feel like I'm controlling them. Then the other hand, when I do things like inquiry about these beliefs, I realize, hey, they're not true. And in that sense, I feel like I do have a sense of control, or I have like a better handle on them, because I'm questioning them and seeing what's true and what's not true about this. So that's really interesting thought there, that I can control what I think of myself, and that's my business. That's what I should be working on, doing inquiry, and supporting my own perceptions of myself. Another turnaround I see is I can control what I think of others, so instead of what they think of me and what I think of them. And I guess that kind of relates to a point I was making earlier, where I felt like I was what I think of others is really, it's always a story. It's like, oh, this person doesn't like me, or this person's judging me, or whatever, or like this person likes me, or this person is X or Y or anything. But like I said before, I don't know if any of those are true. Actually, I don't live their experience. And so also in that sense of like, what I think about other people is wrong. It's a story that I tell myself. It's all just a projection about this person. It's not true. And so those things that I impose on other people often cause me a lot of stress. Like, oh, this person doesn't like me, this person's mad at me. That causes me a lot of worry and anxiety. But if I just realize, hey, I control these projections I put on other people, they're not the truth, and thus I don't need to worry as much about them, because they're in my control, they're not true, and I'm just making them up. So that's a really interesting turnaround. I like that one a lot. So that's all that pops into my head for the turnarounds right now. Thank you for taking the time here to do the work with me.